The Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 8 Ultra is one of those phones that becomes more impressive the longer you use it, even though it may not be the Samsung Foldable that gets the most attention this year. On paper, the Ultra has almost everything you could ask for: a huge 8-inch inner display, flagship level performance, a 5-camera system, better battery life, faster charging, and a much less noticeable display crease. Yet compared with the regular Galaxy Z Fold 8, I actually find the Ultra to be the less exciting device. Still, it remains my favorite overall foldable. Samsung's strategy this time around was not to completely redesign the Ultra, instead it took the previous generation and refined it. The phone is a little thinner, the inside display is flatter, the battery is much larger, the cameras are better, and charging is finally faster. It's also extremely expensive, but when you consider that you are getting a phone that can also transform into a tablet, the price is at least somewhat easier to justify. For me, the Galaxy Z Fold 8 Ultra remains one of those rare devices where the high price makes sense once you actually understand what it is capable of. This year, Samsung made an unusual decision with its flagship foldable lineup. Instead of having one clear flagship fold design, the company introduced two very different versions. The standard Galaxy Z Fold 8 gets an all-new wider body that is redesigned to make the phone more comfortable for content consumption. The Galaxy Z Fold 8 Ultra goes in the opposite direction. It keeps the familiar fold design that has always emphasized productivity, multitasking, and having a larger screen available whenever you need it. That creates an interesting problem for the Ultra. The phone carries Samsung's most premium fold branding, but it doesn't immediately look like a dramatic step forward. At first glance, it could almost be mistaken for the Galaxy Z Fold 7. There are plenty of improvements here, but most of them are refinements rather than major visual changes. And because the previous Fold was already one of my favorite phones of the year, I'm actually okay with that. Samsung didn't need to completely reinvent a formula that already worked. Instead, the company seems to have focused on fixing some of the smaller weaknesses and making the overall experience better. The Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 8 Ultra might be the most overlooked phone in Samsung's foldable lineup this year. It's an excellent device, but it arrived next to the new Galaxy Z Fold 8, which has a much more obvious visual identity. The standard Fold 8 takes the classic Samsung folding phone concept and gives it a wider, almost redesigned appearance that instantly makes it feel new. The Ultra, meanwhile, looks almost exactly like the previous Z Fold 7. That's not necessarily a negative. I really like the Galaxy Z Fold 7, and the basic design remains one of the most successful foldable formats on the market. But when two new phones launch together, the one with the new design will naturally get more attention. So rather than comparing the two constantly, I want to focus on what makes the Galaxy Z Fold 8 Ultra worth considering on its own. When folded, the Ultra looks like a fairly conventional smartphone, although its body is narrower than the Galaxy S26 Ultra. Then you open it with everything changes. The main screen expands into a massive 8-inch flexible AMOLED display, giving you the kind of usable screen real estate that a normal phone simply can't provide. And Samsung made a significant change to the structure underneath that screen. The new internal construction uses two titanium layers. One uses pure titanium with a perforated pattern designed to improve bending, while the second is a thinner titanium alloy that provides more strength and durability than the previous polymer-based material. The main benefit is immediately visible. The interior display now looks much flatter when it is opened, and the center crease is significantly less obvious. There is still a crease. It hasn't magically disappeared, but it has become much easier to ignore. Samsung is also promising that the improved structure will help maintaining the display over time instead of allowing the crease to become noticeably deeper as the device ages. The camera setup remains another major part of the Ultra experience. Samsung still gives you 5 cameras, including a 200 megapixel primary camera That main sensor hasn't really changed, but the ultra-wide camera has been upgraded from 10 megapixel to 50 megapixel. The telephoto remains a 10 megapixel 3x optical zoom, and this is still the part of the camera system I wish Samsung had pushed further. A device with this much hardware and a price above $2000 deserves a stronger optical zoom option. I would have preferred a 5x lens, although even 4x would have been a meaningful improvement. Samsung can digitally zoom much further, but the further you push the digital zoom, the more you rely on AI and computational processing to construct the final image. Fortunately, the improved image processing helps keep the overall camera experience strong. The phone also gets Qualcomm's latest flagship processor along with a huge suite of AI features. Samsung has probably reached the point where there is almost too much AI on its phone, but several features stand out as genuinely useful. Photo Assist and Now Brief are two of the better examples. So, while the Ultra may not feel dramatically different at first glance, it is still an impressive successor to the Z Fold 7 and one of the strongest foldables available. The camera system is one of the biggest differences between the Ultra and the standard Z Fold 8. Samsung gives the Ultra a 200 megapixel main camera, a 10 megapixel telephoto camera, and a new 50 megapixel ultra-wide camera. And for me, the telephoto camera is particularly important. Having actual 3x optical zoom gives you a major advantage over relying on digitally enhanced zoom. The Ultra also takes very good photos in a wide range of lighting conditions. During the day, the main camera captures plenty of detail, and in low light, Samsung's processing does a strong job of keeping images usable. Still, there is one area where I think Google has the slight advantage. I generally prefer the way Pixel phones handle photographs because they often look a little more natural and sometimes preserve slightly more fine detail. That doesn't make the Samsung camera bad, far from it. The new 50 megapixel ultra-wide is an especially useful upgrade and gives you more detailed results while capturing landscapes, wide architectural shots, and other large scenes. Here are some camera samples from the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 8 Ultra. The Galaxy Z Fold 8 Ultra is a better phone than the Z Fold 7 in almost every practical way, but it doesn't create the same sense of excitement that the previous model did. The biggest difference is that Samsung's upgrades feel evolutionary. The phone gets a stronger performance, brighter displays, better battery life, improved charging, a more capable ultra-wide camera, and a flatter internal screen. All of those are real improvements, but none of them fundamentally changes the experience. And that leads to my biggest criticism. The problem isn't really the Galaxy Z Fold 8 Ultra itself, the problem is the version of the Ultra that Samsung could have created. I would have loved to see the wider body from the standard Z Fold 8 combined with the Ultra's 3-camera system. Then I would take that design and increase the internal panel to something around 8.4 inches. That would give the phone even more vertical space for productivity while also making movies and television shows look considerably better on the huge screen. It would also make the Ultra feel much more clearly differentiated from the standard Fold. That, to me, is what Samsung should eventually aim for. The current Galaxy Z Fold 8 Ultra is still an excellent foldable and one of the most complete Android devices you can buy. But around $2,100 the improvements simply aren't large enough to justify an immediate upgrade for someone who already owns the previous Fold. And because the standard Galaxy Z Fold 8 starts at roughly $1,900 while using the same processor and offering similar performance, it presents a very compelling alternative. So, my recommendation is pretty straightforward. If you absolutely need serious side-by-side multitasking, want the taller traditional Fold display, or you really value having a dedicated optical zoom camera, the Ultra makes sense. For everyone else, the regular Galaxy Z Fold 8 remains the better pick for this generation.